It's time for my, quarterly roasting video where I make fun of a whole show's art style, and this time you guys chose Armada. To choose the next one of these I do, there's a vote in the community tab. Now, it has been literally over 20 years since I last saw Armada. If there was some kind of awesome joke that I could be making about their personalities in relationship to their designs, I don't remember it. I have vague memories of liking the show, of Starscream being cool, and of Wheeljack being a douche canoe who is way too easily convinced to upend his entire identity and allegiances over and over, and I have no memories of this loser even existing, and I barely remember Blur. And you know what? That seems like the universal response of everyone, because it is impossible to find a single image of any of the characters in this show in anything bigger than 144p on Google Images. Time seeks to erase this show, and it seems like no one wants to help. Well, let me do my duty to preserve this show by relentlessly mocking it. But first, your likes! Please give. And if you enjoyed this video by the end and you aren't subscribed already, please consider it. Ah yes, Synthol Prime, the guy who never looked the same in any two pictures. And I can't tell if that's because of the constant plastic surgery you must get to try and perfect your body, but you don't realize that you are at the point where each subsequent one is just making you uglier, or if it's just the fact that this show did not have animation errors, because having those would imply that the show ever looked correct at any point. Dear God. Because you can't find a single shot of this through Google Images, I watched some episodes again on YouTube to get some of these shots to roast, and there was not a single frame of this show where I thought to myself, yeah, that looks right. Like here, they clearly squished a shot of Optimus that they had lying around to make it fit the frame. I don't know why you do that when you could just, have him lower in frame. But maybe this version of the dude is such a prima donna, he wanted to make sure that his big blue bulge was the most prominent thing in this shot. Hell, the whole show. Because he seems to love to thrust it right into the camera lens at every opportunity. Autobots, make sure to get my good side. And by my good side, I mean the good side of my balls. And is it just me, or did Prime here kill some kind of Muppet robot and mount its head on his chest like he was trying to join the cast of Beast Wars or something? Look, this Prime has more muscles than brains. As far as he is concerned, what more could he do to get into the superior show? Steal a voice actor from it? And what can I even say about his super mode? Dude looks like Donald Duck's superhero persona. A guy whose toy had to lie for 2 decades because the show model wrote a check that no one knew how to cash. Considering this is supposed to be the guy's ultimate form, I don't know what a wuss-ass bitch his normal form must be, because based on what I watched of the show to get these pictures, all this form seems to do is make him a bigger target. Bro gets bodied like one of those Japanese Decotora trucks when it first comes straight off the manufacturing line by the biggest losers the Decepticons have to offer. That is a car joke that only one person in my audience is going to get. Speaking of their biggest losers, look, based on how that face of yours is vacant like the auditorium of people who would want to hear you sing Cyclonus, I'd be willing to bet all of this is about to go over your all-too-empty forehead. But hey, sometimes hitting a soft target is fun, and you look like a baby's fontanelle. And also just like a baby. So it's a good thing you won't comprehend any of this, because otherwise I'd have to deal with you crying. Dude, I can't tell how much of this is animation error or just how much of it is you being built like a tragedy, but I tell you, I pity myself for having to look at you. Did the Autobots at some point shoot you down because you look like a helicopter that already had a high-velocity landing that sent your pilot out through your roof? Did he get stuck? That grape on your shoulders is the size of a cockroach's yoga ball. And are you about to perpetrate some evil there with that purple package of yours? Why is it so pronounced? Your dick is not only bigger than your forearm is bigger than your head. No wonder you look as witless as a particularly dense rubber chicken, and about as aerodynamic as one as well. All of your energon is tied up in your second head. Maybe see a doctor. Those little blue pillows aren't supposed to last more than 4 hours. But hey, I don't judge what the positively ancient gotta do to relieve the stress of how miserable their existence must be stuck on a team of losers like Demolisher. A guy so stupid that he turned his shoulders into crit zones, and his ult mode into an anti-aircraft tank when his opponents have no aircraft. I don't care that the Autobots eventually got Jetfire. Demolisher turned into that when the only airborne things to shoot at were his own teammates. This man is so dumb, in order to get his accuracy score up, he defeated the whole robots in disguise thing by himself by choosing an ult mode that would be really good at friendly fire. Once again, given the size of his head, it's not surprising that he's about as bright as a moonless night sky, but maybe the actual problem here is just the head-to-tit ratio, because boy is stacked like an anime love interest. Dear God, you must be the girl who showed up with the even bigger bankangagahoogs in Shockwave's new anime plot. How did you afford that much silicone, dude? Was it by being a double agent for the Autobots? Because that's the only thing that really explains why Hotshot is still alive. Hey there, Spaceball. Nice helmet and neck brace. I can't tell if you look like a man who's trapped in his own body or like a robot who's currently being swallowed whole by Iron Man. I can see when ordering you at the drive-thru, Primus just went with the classic #1, a guy who looks like he was cursed with his own anatomy and no peripheral vision. This time with extra ketchup and cheese and a side order of sexual perversion. Or did you think I wasn't going to notice that instead of a shirt, you're wearing a wrestling title belt suspended from your nipples? Honestly, I think this is what Primus orders every day. Though bonus points for him ordering you with a Strika special by giving you perfectly functional hands encased in crap. And God, do I hate the fact that I can see your bubble butt from the front. The dudes in this continuity really need to lay off the plastic surgery. Man, you can barely move your head, and even if you could, you couldn't see anything because of your stupid shoulders. You can't pick up anything because of your gauntlets. You are wearing high-vis colors, and even if you were fully behind someone, you can't sneak up on them because the clap of your ass cheeks keeps alerting them. You are like the anti-ninja. Though maybe knowing Wheeljack for more than 2 seconds made you want to be Naruto's thicker brother. Be honest, dude. Is the reason that you thought Hotshot left you to die when there are millions of more likely possibilities other than my friend wanted me dead did is because you know that you suck. Were you just like, oh, he's put up with my weebery and calling myself a ninja for so long, this has gotta be it. It's gotta be the moment where he's finally made the decision I would have made so many years ago. And goddammit, I can't fault that logic. I wish you would burn to death in that fire. Even Red Alert didn't try and save you. Who, in this instance, is a mountain rescue vehicle instead of a fire marshal's car? And I don't know, when I think of the highest tier of emergency alert, I don't think yuppie-ass douchebag skiers trapped on the mountains. Bro, you are knobbly as fuck. Like, the most knobbly as fuck. Like, a 10-month-old potato and a pair of really ugly knees had a three-way with a jacked-up avocado in the back of a beat-to-hell jalopy as it bounced up and down a road that was nothing but hundreds of miles of speed bumps, and you were the result. You have got to be the single knobbliest character in the franchise. Did Primus cut off one of his warts and grow you out of it? No wonder you're a medic. You needed one with whatever horrible disease you've contracted that did all that to you and took your eyes and your hand like a discount shockwave. Oh, you know what happened here? The classic post-plastic surgery infection. Truly, these must be some of the most cursed Transformers designs in all of the franchise.
I don't have a transition with this one. It's just Edge Scream now.
The dude who could be anything, so he decided to be Dinobot. Bro has the color scheme of a 90s shoe commercial and the energy of the hogs of speed. Dude would be right at home in a Sonic game, but like one of the 3D ones that everyone hates. The bib running all the way down your chest was a choice as it makes your torso look like a cartoon mosquito with erectile dysfunction of the nose. Well, when I say cartoon, I more mean like a cartoon commercial selling Raid or something like that. So given that and the way that you look like a Reebok ad, it's great to see that you've become a corporate shill. Did the hog put you up to this? Blink once for yes, if you can with that horrible Sonic mono eye. I knew he was involved. Seriously, what the fuck is this artwork? At least Demolisher is still more chesty than the result of Dolly Parton and Shockwave getting into a bad teleporter accident. That's how you know this is official. Rule 34 ain't got nothing on Hasbro 2001. Why are all the Decepticons brain-rotted goons in this series? Starscream, I know you wanted to be edgy, but you didn't have to take that so literally. Your entire body is designed to gore you. Like maybe you have fantasies about winning a sword fight by kneeing a dude, but there will never be one where you get the opportunity to hip-check someone to death. And with these little fuckers on top, what is even the plan? Jump in the air and then try and land on them head first and just hope that you don't break your neck? Apparently, when your only tool is a knife, the solution to every problem starts looking like buying another knife. You may give Wheeljack a run for his money in terms of stolen identity, because you took Dinobot's personality, your paint scheme from a shoe company, your voice from Dragon Ball Z, and I swear you stole your shoes from Gundam. Also maybe Sonic a bit. Lastly, we got Megatron, who turns into a tank with a pair of scissors on the front. I don't know about you, but I think getting run over by a tank would pretty much be exactly as much of a traumatic event as getting cut in half by one. But who am I to argue with a guy who stole his helmet from a Marvel villain? But looking at you, that is not my biggest problem. Here I thought G1 Megatron looked like he was about to break out into a lap dance, but at least he was wearing a full Speedo. This version has a banana hammock, childbirthing hips, and a smile on his face. Fanboy Megatron is a nightmare I want to erase. Dude has a waist like Barbie, and he's packed a full cheese slicer worth of abs onto it. Meanwhile, his pecs would make Terry Crews jealous. Boy ain't built like a human V, he's built like a human Y. Is this why everyone else went under the knife so much? They looked at Twonkatron here and were like, well, if it didn't go horribly wrong for him, maybe we can all aspire to our fetishes too. So congrats to Armada Megatron. You really did manage to conquer the Autobots. Just not perhaps in the way that you intended. Or maybe fully in the way you intended given what you did to yourself. Though who can tell what you're thinking at any point, considering the purple, burgundy, and white color scheme you eventually took is tackier than the whole of the 70s. How did you think that any of this was a good idea? You look like the Grimace puked on you. You look like an asexual flag got shot and fell on a male stripper. You look like an advertisement for eggplant salads gone wild. Galactus called, he wants his daughter's clothes back. And before we go, let's thank a patron. If you'd like to get on this wheel yourselves, just join my Patreon at any paid tier. And this time it's Sam Hesitation, whose favorite figure of all time is HasLab Starsaber, a figure I've never handled, but I don't think there's an argument against. It's just better than the MP. And I mean, yeah, that makes sense when this came with absolutely everything to be called the definitive version, while the Masterpiece barely came with enough to be called a version. It does look like a fun figure, even if the posing isn't the best, and the gimmick of a robot that combines with a jet to become a bigger robot, that combines with a booster section to become a bigger robot, that combines with a lion to become a yet even bigger robot is a seriously fun one. Anyways, that's not half of the characters I could roast in this show, but it's enough of the characters I could roast in this show. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.